welcome back to another episode of the Double J Talk Show. I am Jazzy J.
And it's your boy JLau here, coming at you live.
And what's going on? We're back. We got more coming for you.
We're finally back.
We're on the turning point of the end of the first season of the Double J Talk Show.
Yes.
We got a few more episodes coming, and then it's the end of season 1.
Season 1 is finally coming to an end.
Could you believe it?
Yes.
Almost a year.
Yes, almost a year that this podcast has been started, because we started back in, October?
October. So mid-October.
Mid-October. Feels like it was just yesterday that we had that Chick-fil-A run.
Oh, yeah, the Chick-fil-A run that started it all. We're starting our plans for the season finale. It'll be sometime toward the end of August. We're going to do something, I guess, special. So stay tuned to that.
We're having a lot of specials here, but...
We're going to have a lot of specials, but the season finale will be the big special, because then that starts Jacob's and I's break for a while from podcasting.
Yeah. Because, sadly, we have to go back to school.
Aw.
Yeah.
In person.
We also have jobs, so...
Phew. Bless you.
Give me 1 second. Sorry you had to hear that.
So it'll be very interesting to see, but we're excited to share with everyone what's going on in the season finale.
Yeah. Apparently, the thought of ending season 1 has made me sneeze so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... kind of the reason why we haven't been posting any episodes so far is because we've been extremely busy. Because Jared's job and my job kind of take a majority of our time.
Yeah. We both work 8-hour shifts.
Yeah.
A majority of the week.
This week, I'm working 50 hours because I'm doing overtime.
Wow.
Yeah. 50 hours.
Quite a bit.
It's nothing compared to my dad, though. Because he used to work, 70 to, 80 hours a week.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't had any heart attacks yet.
Well,
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, knock on wood, do all the dances, everything.
Yeah.
Gotta do everything. But, yep, that's where we're at with that.
That's where we're at.
We're gonna keep pumping out the episodes until we get to our season finale. So, stay tuned for that. We're hoping to do every week, but, plans change.
Plans do change,
But we do want to thank our loyal audience for listening and, all that fun stuff.
You guys are the true MVPs.
Yeah.
You stuck around this long.
Alright. So, now that we've gone over that, let's talk about our last episode. On our last episode, we did a Fortnite Let's Play.
We did a Fortnite Let's Play.
Seems like a lot of people enjoyed that.
Yes. Because apparently a lot of people like Fortnite. Whoa.
And video games?
Yes, and video games.
Wow. So we got more of those coming at some point, so keep an eye out for those.
Because we love gaming content.
Exactly. Everyone loves
and we figured we should create our own gaming content.
Exactly. So we got more of those coming your way. We might just even post those Let's Plays just willy-nilly, not even do an episode of it. We might just post Let's Plays willy-nilly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's basically what's up with that.
Maybe it won't be a podcast, it'll just be us playing video games commentary.
Much could be. Alright. So, we talked about, now that we've gotten all the housekeeping out of the way, let's get into our topic today.
And what is that, Jared?
The Olympics.
The Olympics.
They're back. After last year and COVID knocked them out, they're back.
Again, with all the COVID stuff.
Opening ceremony was last night. It'll run for 2 weeks.
There we go.
So, there aren't really many fans, though, unfortunately.
Really? I mean, I guess because of the economy and stuff. Because it tanked for a bit.
Yep.
Well, it's kind of tanking still.
Yep. The economy tanked. The people, and
a lot of people lost their jobs.
A lot of people lost their jobs, and a lot of countries are still shut down. The borders are sealed. I think Tokyo's got all sorts of restrictions in place.
Yeah,
for it, but
they got a lot of restrictions.
Yep,
when it comes to COVID, because they like to keep it safe.
Yeah, you got to play it safe. Don't just destroy everything, and can't undo what's already been done. So, there aren't too many people, but it still looks like they're still doing television and everything, so you can still watch them, which is good. The U.S. has been finishing up their trials, and now we're into the Olympic season. Some of the sports have already actually started before the opening, but now it's official. Everything will start kicking off, and we'll be watching more Olympic games. And
now you can start watching those games in bars.
maybe you can watch them in the bars. You can have some fun.
Buffalo wings.
Watch them wherever you want to go.
Yeah, just do it. Do whatever you want.
Exactly. You get to watch the Olympic Games. It's a very fun time of year. But even though, you know what's something crazy?
What's crazy?
Still Tokyo 2020.
Still Tokyo 2020.
Everything still says Tokyo 2020.
I know, right?
They did not change it. Well, here's the thing.
Got to keep it to those 4 years, right?
At that point, they designed these Olympic logos years in advance.
Oh, really?
Like they got Beijing. Oh, that's the Winter Games next year.
Okay.
But they designed these logos years in advance. I also pick the location years in advance.
Really?
For example, the next time it'll be in the U.S. is in 2028.
Wow. I actually did not know that. What city?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay.
So, yep.
Interesting. I did not know that.
In 2028. So that'll be exciting.
You learn something new every day.
Indeed, indeed. So that'll be exciting in about, what, 7 years?
Yeah, approximately.
So, in season 7 of this podcast, we'll be talking about the Olympic Games in Atlanta.
Yes.
If we make it that far.
Let's see. I'm 19. Well, not 19. I'll be 19 in about 2 weeks. So that's like what? I'll be like 26 by then?
26.
25?
In our 20s. Upper 20s.
Yeah, mid-20s.
Graduated from college, having real jobs. You know.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Having
fingers
real
crossed. Knock on wood. Do all the fun jazz.
Yupperoonie.
Because, the future is it's always fickle.
The future is a very, very fickle thing, yes.
Very fickle.
Indeed. But, yes, we got the Olympics are going on. It seems like everyone's having fun at the Olympics. It actually kind of looks like it's a normal Olympic year, which is very
Pretty much. Just without, all, the tens of millions of audiences.
Yeah, just about the millions of people. And you know what? For some of these sporting events, it's kind of nice without people.
Yeah.
You remove the fans, you remove some of the problems.
Yeah, you get rid of all the hecklers.
The hecklers, people that get too much alcohol in them and
Yeah.
decide to pick fights with random people.
But it's also kind of bad because it kind of doesn't raise much revenue.
No, it does not. But,
The point of all the audiences being in the crowd
is to gain revenue. But, you people got to do what they got to do.
Or maybe they'll charge. Do they charge extra for watching the Olympics?
Not usually.
No.
No, not usually.
Is it
Not in the United States, at least.
Okay.
I don't know about other countries. Other countries, it's a possibility, but I doubt it.
Because what channels are you usually watching the Olympics on?
NBC.
NBC. And I'm assuming they get a lot of money from
NBC
watching.
gets a huge amount of money from that. But they also have to pay out to the Olympic people, to the Olympic Committee. So the Olympic Committee probably gets billions of dollars just right from there.
All right. And they also got to account for all the ads that run on there, right?
Yep.
They probably pay millions and millions of dollars.
Oh yeah, they pay a lot.
It's like the Super Bowl where they pay $5 million for 30-second ad?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's billions of dollars in that. Plus you got all these other countries, because each country has their own television network, correct?
Yes.
So imagine $2 billion, $3 billion, possibly more. I don't know how much exactly they make for all the countries of the Olympics.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. So
A lot of money.
So the fans, I don't think really matter to the Olympics because they still get their advertising.
Yeah.
They'll still get that revenue. They'll have less revenue, but they still have enough to operate.
Yeah. I continue on for years on end.
Plus I'm not. Don't quote me on this, but I think the countries do have to pay dues.
Do they?
I would assume that you have to pay some sort of membership fee to be in the Olympics.
That is true because you got all those countries coming in, all those crowd audiences. Someone's got to pay for them.
Yeah, I've always wondered that's a very interesting question to me.
What is the budget for the Olympics?
That is a good question, and that's why we have something called Google.
And while Jared looks it up on Google, this is a good time to mention our sponsor thing. Alright, if you got tired of hearing those first 30 seconds of me spouting information about Anchor.fm, that could be you instead. So, instead of Anchor, that could be you. You shoot us an email, that can be you. That could be you taking up the 30 seconds And this also goes on YouTube and all the other platforms that we run our podcast on. So you have multiple platforms and the YouTube video that stays up for a long time to place your ad. And the prices are really cheap. So hit us a DM and then we'll give you a little quote on that.
All right,
again, Jared, do we have a consensus?
The Olympics this year had a budget of $15.4 billion.
Billion, wow.
But the Japanese government auditors have said total spending tops $20 billion. So they've spent $20 billion.
So they got over budget by $5 billion.
But yeah, so they did overspend it. But
So how are they making it back then?
it comes from the city too. $7.4 billion
From the city?
from the city.
Okay. So that's not bad.
So it's very interesting how that works out.
Okay.
But
Wow, 20 billion.
yeah, I'm gonna look at over time because there's over time. Let's take a look. Hasn't happened yet. The Rio de Janeiro ones cost about 13 billion. The Sochi Winter Olympics cost 51 billion.
51
the London
billion.
Summer Olympics cost 10 billion. Where the Vancouver Winter Games costs 1.2 trillion.
I think it's 1.2
Or 1.2 billion, sorry.
Yeah. that's a big number difference.
44 billion for Beijing Summer Olympics. 700 million for the Turin Winter Olympics.
Okay.
The Athens Summer Olympics were 15 billion.
Okay.
The Salt Lake City Winter Olympics were 2 billion. And the Sydney Summer Olympics were 6 billion.
So how come some of them were like more expensive back then and some
it depends
some
on
were
it
cheaper?
depends on how the city hosts it.
Okay.
So it all depends on how your city wants to put it together.
Oh, if you actually think about it, with all those people coming into Atlanta for the United States, that's going to bring a lot of revenue for the country.
That brings a lot of people. Olympics
Stonks.
are not benefiting just the people who are running the Olympics and the athletes and everything.
Yeah.
But they also benefit the local communities and the country itself.
Yeah. Atlanta's a big place. We also hosted the Super Bowl, right? A couple
Yep.
years.
Same thing. Any sort of big sporting event like that draws hundreds of crowds makes probably the community billions, if not millions, if not billions.
Yeah, because they're also going to spend money on hotels, the restaurants nearby, maybe the local shops.
I will say this: I've looked up hotels for the Super Bowl. Some hotels that are like $2,000 a night for the Super Bowl
they're booked.
Garbage.
Oh, garbage.
Like this is like
1-star.
1-star motel that's charging $2,000. If you want like a 5-star Hilton, it's probably like $5,000, $6,000 a night.
Hey, think about it. Supply and demand. Like
It is supply and demand.
you got all these people coming in, and then they're like rushing to get just one spot at a room.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? It makes me think. Like it makes me wonder, how much would like a typical Super Bowl, like if you were to buy a ticket to the Super Bowl, like Jacob and I buy tickets to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And we go to the Super Bowl. How much do you think we would spend altogether, including tickets, like food, lodging, everything?
Probably 5,000.
5,000 per person?
Or maybe total.
Total.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting number. I'm actually curious.
Because
we're
we would probably split a room.
Yeah.
Don't forget food, and the ticket themselves.
So a Super Bowl ticket itself costs roughly $158,000.
Okay, alright. Is that right? No way. $158,000
Yep,
for a Super Bowl ticket?
for a Super Bowl ticket.
I mean, think about it. 150 million people. I mean, that makes sense.
Actually, here's more or less of a rough estimate. I feel like that's better than this.
Okay.
How much are Super Bowl tickets that was this year? How much they were?
Okay.
Obviously, they're gonna be more expensive this year because there's limited crowds.
What about the Super Bowl in 2019.
2020 Super Bowl tickets ranged from $4,220 to $60,000.
$220.
So with the average being about 7,000.
Okay.
So that's $14,000 right there
That's
for the tickets.
Jesus.
And we haven't even gotten to the door.
Oh my God.
That's just we bought the tickets. Now we got to figure out where the flights are. If it's in New York, great. We don't have to pay for flights, but we'll probably have to pay for parking
Yeah.
somewhere.
That's probably be like $100.
$100 somewhere. Yeah, something like that. Plus the hotel stays. So, hotel during the Super Bowl is about probably roughly $2,000, $3,000 a night.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Plus, say maybe $1,000.
What if you have a reservation ahead of time?
They still know. Here's the thing: the Super Bowl is just like the Olympics. They know when it is and where it is. So this, like, the next one's in Los Angeles. They already know. So these hotels have already put into their systems, this is when the Super Bowl is. Charge these rates then.
Okay.
So if I go, and most hotels don't let you book like until like a year in advance.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
I guarantee you, for the Los Angeles Super Bowl, a lot of the tickets are already sold.
Okay.
Or not the tickets, but the hotels.
All right.
So, they don't even know which teams are playing. The NFL hasn't even started, and hotels are already booked up.
Hey, whatever to get that spot, right?
Whatever to get the spot. And listen, these hotels have made money on it, so.
I mean, they're smart. I mean, businesses are smart.
Listen, these hotel businesses are very smart when it comes to, having these big sporting events in your communities.
Yeah. What about Airbnb?
I'm not sure.
You think they know?
Airbnb, that might actually be cheaper, but remember, some of these cities, you don't want to.
Yeah.
You might want to be very selective on the Airbnb.
Yeah.
You might.
You don't want to. You don't want to be.
You might end up in someone's basement or something.
Or a crack house in Compton.
Or a crack house or something like that. Something like in that nature. So that's why Airbnb, you got to kind of err on the side of caution.
Exactly.
Especially for those sporting events, because everyone.
However, I think Airbnb will kind of replace the hotel industry. If you know what I mean.
Oh, I gotta.
Like those type of business.
Oh.
No. Just like Airbnb in general.
Oh yeah.
Like anyone can place their own house on.
Yep. So it's an interesting thing. So I don't know anyone out in LA, so unfortunately if we're going to LA, we're probably dropping about $100,000 on this trip.
It's very expensive.
It's a very expensive thing, and LA itself is a very expensive area. So
I think that's why a lot of people are actually leaving LA.
Yeah, everyone's leaving the cities, coming out to the countries, and everyone in the countries.
It's a lot cheaper to live out in the country.
There's a theory I have in New Jersey here of what's going on. People from the cities are leaving the cities, right?
Yeah.
They're moving into New Jersey.
Yeah.
So, like, into our counties and stuff, and, I see a lot more New York license plates in my area.
It's seller's market.
Exactly. And now, people that live in New Jersey, that have been living in New Jersey, are moving down south to, the Carolinas and Florida.
That's exactly what's happening.
It's kind of the city's going bye-bye.
Well, New Jersey is also a very expensive place to live in.
Well, New Jersey is a very expensive place to live in, so...
Yeah.
Not as expensive. But
it's one of the highest in house prices.
Indeed. And New Jersey is a very expensive place to live in. It's one of the highest in housing prices and property tax, may I add.
Property tax. Ew. I hate taxes.
So everyone...
I'll do them.
So I don't blame people for moving down south, but like I said, a lot of the jobs are in New Jersey and New York.
Yeah.
So you kind of have... Some people are kind of stuck.
If you live in New Jersey, you're surrounded by Pennsylvania and New York, so...
Philadelphia and New York, yep.
Yeah.
So, New Jersey is the place to be if you're... I know a lot of people that go down south are retiring, or they're going to work remotely, because a lot of companies are now just going fully remote.
Yeah.
So...
Especially with all the COVID.
Yeah. The city's a ghost town now, isn't it?
No, actually, I was in New York a couple days ago.
Oh, yeah, how was that?
It was awesome. I visited the Met. I saw the Met for the first time. I saw a lot of cool art pieces, nice historic objects. I saw armor, anything from the Egyptians to the Romans, to the Native Americans, to like a lot of like the historical like weapons.
All right.
Yeah. I saw a lot of crazies on the streets and subways, but you know,
Oh, that's good.
that's part of the authentic New York experience.
That's New York for you. Anytime you go to New York on the subway, there's going to be some.
And I went to
New York in general. There's going to be some interesting people.
I mean, there's what, like 20,000 homeless people in
Something like that.
New York.
Something
So-
like that.
And you got all the drug addicts out there.
You got quite a few interesting
Characters.
characters that are in there.
Yeah.
So you got to be very careful.
I also went to like a fancy Red Lobster that had like the elevator inside of it. That was
a
fun.
lot of restaurants do have that. Did you go out to the Dave and Buster's out there?
We saw them, but we did not go into it because we didn't have the budget for it.
Gotcha. Yeah, but there's a good Dave and Buster's out there, but it's a very good place.
Yeah.
City's fun. The city.
You know, I still have my Metro card to kind of
Keep them as a memorabilia.
yeah. Because I never had a Metro card until a couple weeks ago.
I haven't.
And just grab my stuff.
Ooh,
out.
I actually do. I still have mine.
Yeah.
I think I do. Yes, I do.
Yes, here it is. Metro
Boom.
card.
Metro cards.
This probably is like no charge on it now.
No, they don't have anything on it. I gotta get a new one, honestly. 'Cause mine's all like beat up.
Because I got the quick Metro card, which is like what, 10 bucks?
Yeah, like $10,
Yeah. And then that's like 3 rides.
something like that.
Yeah.
It depends. You can load a certain amount of money on it, and then there you go.
$1,000.
You can. They will let you do that.
Hopefully no one steals it.
That's a very good thing, though. It is a paper card, so people have a tendency to just toss it out.
Yeah, right?
And you can put $1,000 on it, and then you toss out your Metro card, and you just gave some guy a lucky day for free rides. So,
Exactly.
You know.
And it's got like no one's name on it unless you put like
There's no identifying thing on it unless you put your name on it.
Yeah.
You can get one that's like, it has your name on it, but you know.
or you can like put on like the back of the back of like the card.
Yeah, something
It's
like
like-
that.
It's like white on the back.
Yep.
That's awesome, though. Metro card.
Very, very fun. But yeah, that's basically what's been going on. We got the Olympics coming up next week.
We got the Olympics. We're almost about to go to school.
Yep, school's coming up. I got about a month, and then I'm back.
I'm still here because I go to community college.
Yep, I am no longer virtual, so I will be returning to campus.
I'm doing half and half this year.
So you're going 50-50?
Yep.
Nice.
Because I kind of want to save a little bit on gas, but you gotta use gotta do the commute sometime.
Oh yeah. All right, so
I think that concludes our episode.
plug time.
Plug time.
All right, you can check out the Double J Talk Show on. Getting my list. Hold on, one moment. Oh, here it is. Distribution. All right.
There we go.
Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Breaker, Castbox, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Audible, Overcast, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and more. Check us out on YouTube, The Double J Talk Show. Follow us on Instagram at The Double J Talkers. Like us on Facebook, The Double J Talk Show. And follow us on Twitter, Double J Talk Show.
That's a lot of plugs.
Oh yeah. If you have any episode suggestions, please let us know. We are more than happy to take your suggestions. Leave them in the comments. I'll probably put a post out sometime next week asking for some suggestions from people. People can leave their own suggestions, send us a DM or something like that to get some episode suggestions, just so we have some ideas, because we want to make this show about you guys. So, and if you want to see a certain guest too, we might be able to make that happen.
Obviously, we're not gonna be able to bring like
Never say never.
Oh, that is true.
Never say never.
Never say. You know what? Jared's right. Never say never.
Because anything's possible.
That's it. We'll get Justin Bieber in.
Maybe. Alright, well that wraps up this episode. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.